William B. Astor, the millionaire who chose restraint over excess. Welcome, esteemed viewers, to an in-depth exploration of one of the 19th century's most intriguing figures, William Backhouse Astor Sr., a titan of American real estate and one of the wealthiest men of his era. At a time when the United States was undergoing rapid industrialization, giving rise to unprecedented fortunes, Astor's story stands out not merely for the magnitude of his wealth but for his unconventional approach to its utilization. In an age characterized by opulence and the conspicuous display of riches, Astor chose a path of restraint and prudence. Today, we delve into how his deliberate avoidance of extravagant excesses not only benefited society but also set a positive example for responsible wealth management. The potential harm of unchecked wealth. To comprehend the significance of William B. Astor's choices, we must first consider the potential ramifications of immense wealth when wielded without foresight. Wealth, in the hands of the imprudent, can distort economic systems, inflate markets, and engender social inequities. Consider the phenomenon of the rich fool, an individual who, by frivolously dispensing gratuities far exceeding the market value of services, inadvertently debases service providers. Such actions can precipitate inflationary pressures, skew labor markets, and foster a culture of entitlement. The waiter who receives an exorbitant tip for a trivial task may develop unrealistic expectations, which, when replicated across a sector, can lead to wage distortions detrimental to the broader economy. William B. Astor recognized these perils. His conscious decision to eschew ostentatious spending was not merely personal frugality but a strategic measure to mitigate economic harm. By avoiding excessive expenditures, he maintained stability within the markets he engaged. Astor's principles of frugality. Astor's commitment to frugality was both principled and pragmatic. He adhered strictly to paying the market price for goods and services, neither overpaying nor underpaying. This approach ensured that his transactions reflected true economic value, avoiding artificial price inflation. A notable example of his prudence is his practice regarding coal procurement. Residing adjacent to the Astor Library, he was observed purchasing his annual coal supply in June, capitalizing on the seasonal low in coal prices. This decision was not driven by a mere desire to economize but was rooted in a systemic understanding of market dynamics and resource management. Astor's aversion to waste extended beyond financial considerations. It was a moral stance. He perceived waste as an ethical failing, a transgression against both society and the environment. In an urban landscape like New York City, where extravagance was commonplace, his frugality served as a counterbalance, promoting a culture of sustainability and responsible consumption. Moreover, his measured approach disproved the notion that wealth necessitates ostentation. Astor demonstrated that substantial financial resources could coexist with modest living, thereby challenging the prevailing societal norms of his time. Astor's restraint is further highlighted when contrasted with the extravagances of the Old World aristocracy. In Europe, it was not uncommon for nobility to maintain sprawling estates, vast tracts of arable land reserved for the leisure of a single family, while surrounding populations languished in poverty. Such disparities exacerbated social tensions and hindered economic progress. A striking illustration is the wedding of Baron Alphonse de Rothschild's daughter in Paris. This event, emblematic of extreme opulence, featured expenditures such as a dowry of 5 million francs, a bridal veil fashioned from exclusive lace, custom designed at exorbitant cost, 25 custom-made carriages, each exceeding the grandeur of royal conveyances, drawn by imported English horses, a choir of 110 professional vocalists and performances by leading maestros of the era. This display was not merely personal celebration but an assertion of wealth that had profound social implications. It accentuated class divisions, exerted inflationary pressures on luxury goods, and diverted resources from productive uses. In stark contrast, William B. Astor refrained from such excesses. Despite possessing the means to indulge in similar displays, he chose to live modestly. He did not commission grand estates or lavish festivities. Instead, he focused on investments that spurred economic growth, such as real estate developments that provided housing and infrastructure. Astor's refusal to partake in ostentatious consumption mitigated potential negative externalities associated with wealth concentration. By not inflating demand for luxury goods and services, he avoided contributing to market distortions that could adversely affect the less affluent. Responsible wealth management. Astor's investment philosophy was characterized by meticulous analysis and a long-term perspective. With an annual income from investments nearing $2 million, a staggering sum in the 19th century, he was tasked with allocating substantial capital quarterly, amounting to nearly $500,000 every 3 months. His approach was methodical. Market timing. Astor invested in sectors based on societal needs, directing funds toward industries that would yield sustainable growth. Diversification. He balanced his portfolio across real estate, infrastructure, and emerging industries, mitigating risk while supporting economic diversification. Economic stimulation. By investing in housing when there was a demand for residences and in commodities like coal when energy needs prevailed, he ensured that his wealth was employed where it was most beneficial. Economists recognize that such prudent investment strategies not only preserve and grow personal wealth but also contribute positively to the economy by optimizing resource allocation. Astor's investments were symbiotic with public interest, fostering development and stability. Furthermore, his focus on real estate development addressed critical urban challenges. By constructing housing in New York City, he provided accommodations for the rapidly increasing population, facilitating urbanization and economic expansion. In many respects, Astor functioned as a steward of public resources. His wealth, constituting a significant portion of the nation's capital, was managed in a manner that served broader societal interests. One of his notable contributions was the establishment of the Astor Library in 1849, which later became part of the New York Public Library system. This institution democratized access to knowledge, supporting education and intellectual advancement. The library's endowment and collections were significant, providing invaluable resources to scholars and the public alike. Moreover, his real estate developments were not merely profit-driven ventures but also addressed urban housing needs. By building and maintaining properties across New York City, he contributed to the urban infrastructure essential for supporting the burgeoning population. However, it is important to acknowledge limitations in his philanthropy. While he did support public resources, his charitable activities were modest relative to his wealth. Unlike some contemporaries who endowed universities or funded large-scale social programs, Astor's focus remained largely on preserving and augmenting his estate. This approach raises pertinent questions about the responsibilities of the wealthy in societal development. Should the affluent prioritize the growth of personal assets, or should they allocate more resources toward addressing social inequities? The critique of timidity. Despite his contributions, Astor's legacy is not without critique. His personal timidity, both physical and moral, had implications for his potential as a leader in social reform. Physically, Astor was known to avoid situations he perceived as risky, such as crossing temporary bridges, despite assurances of their structural integrity. This cautious nature extended to his engagement with societal issues. Notably, Astor witnessed pervasive corruption within New York's City Hall, where graft and embezzlement siphoned funds from public coffers, including revenues derived from his own tax contributions. Yet, he refrained from taking a stand against these injustices. This reluctance to confront corruption can be analyzed from several perspectives. Risk aversion. Concern for potential repercussions to his business interests may have deterred him from activism. Social responsibility. As a leading figure, there was an expectation for him to leverage his influence to combat malfeasance. Ethical considerations. His compromises with corrupt officials suggest a prioritization of personal estate preservation over civic duty. Astor's timidity in this arena underscores a complex interplay between personal disposition and societal obligations, highlighting the challenges that individuals of great wealth may face in balancing self-interest with the public good. Moreover, his inaction had tangible consequences. The enduring corruption impeded municipal improvements, affecting infrastructure, public services, and ultimately the quality of life for New York's residents. The legacy of restraint. Evaluating Astor's legacy requires a nuanced understanding of the societal context and the multifaceted impact of his actions and inactions. Societal benefits. Economic stability. His prudent investments and avoidance of conspicuous consumption helped prevent economic distortions. Cultural influence. By modeling frugality, he subtly advocated for responsible wealth stewardship among the elite. Urban development. His real estate projects contributed to the physical and economic growth of New York City. Limitations. Philanthropic shortcomings. His contributions, while significant, were not proportionate to his capacity for societal impact. Missed leadership opportunities. His failure to confront corruption represented a lost chance to effect meaningful reform. Ethical ambiguities. His compromises with corrupt officials raise questions about the moral obligations of the affluent. Contemporary relevance. In today's context, Astor's principles resonate amid discussions on wealth inequality and the role of the ultra-rich in society. His emphasis on investment over indulgence offers valuable insights into sustainable wealth management. Moreover, his shortcomings serve as a cautionary tale about the importance of coupling financial acumen with moral courage. Modern counterparts can learn from his example by embracing not only fiscal responsibility but also active engagement in addressing systemic issues. The balance between personal wealth accumulation and societal contribution remains a pertinent topic. Astor's life prompts reflection on how the affluent can leverage resources for broader social benefit while maintaining personal prosperity. William B. Astor's life embodies a complex portrait of wealth, responsibility, and societal impact. His deliberate restraint in personal expenditure protected the economy from the potential harms of inflationary pressures and social stratification that unchecked extravagance can engender. Astor's approach to wealth management was ahead of its time, emphasizing prudent investment, market integrity, and a moral stance against wastefulness. These principles contributed to economic stability and offered a counter-narrative to the extravagances of his contemporaries. However, his legacy is also a reminder that financial stewardship alone is insufficient without the accompaniment of civic engagement and moral leadership. His hesitance to confront corruption reflects the challenges inherent in balancing self-interest with societal obligations. As we reflect on Astor's place in history, we are prompted to consider our roles within the larger economic and social systems. The choices of individuals, especially those with significant resources, have profound implications for collective well-being. Let us draw lessons from Astor's life, recognizing the value of restraint and the imperative of coupling wealth with responsibility. In doing so, we can aspire to build a society where prosperity is aligned with ethical stewardship and where the impacts of our actions contribute positively to the advancement of all. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of William B. Astor's legacy. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of historical figures who shaped our world. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.